Record.
Sure, let's see. Okay, so today we are going to discuss carbohydrates 3.3. Last class we discussed about 3.2, that is water. So carbohydrates are the molecules that only contain elements like carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. From the name, it is clear. Carbohydrate, that is hydrates of carbon. So carbon and water are the main, you can say, things present in carbohydrates. Or literally, we can say that carbohydrate literally means hydrated carbon. Okay. Now the element in the elements in carbohydrate usually appears only in a ratio of CxH2O5. This is known as the general formula of carbohydrate. The general formula of carbohydrate is CxH2O5. Remember that thing. Okay. Now carbohydrates are also known as saccharides or sugar. A single carbohydrate unit is known as, or a single sugar is known as a monosaccharide. Now saccharide means sugar, mono means one, which includes examples are glucose, fructose, and ribose. So these are the monosaccharides, that is a single unit sugar. When two monosaccharides link together, they form disaccharide. Saccharide means sugar, di means two. Example are lactose and sucrose. And when two or more, usually 4 to 5 or maybe more than 10, 6, 7, they more than, you can say, two are joining together, we call them as a polysaccharide. Okay, examples are glycogen, cellulose, starch, and other different polysaccharides are there. Fine. So now we are going to discuss about glucose. So glucose is a monosaccharide, that is, it contains only one unit of saccharide. Now the basic building block or monomer of some biological importance carbohydrates are glucose molecules, which have chemical formula C6H12O6. So glucose chemical formula is C6H12O6. You can clearly see C6H2O6. This is the chemical formula for glucose. Okay. Now glucose is a monosaccharide composed of 6 carbons, and therefore it is a hexose monosaccharide. Now why hexose? Because of 6 carbons. Okay. Because hexose sugar, and also we call it as a hexose sugar. Got it? In a similar way, ribose, it has a 5 carbon atom in it. So ribose is known as a pentose sugar. Glucose is also known as hexose sugar because there are 6 carbons.
6 carbons. So if anyone has 6 carbons, it's
Yes, it's hexose. It's hexose. If it is a 6 carbon, it is hexose. Hex. Hex is the word which is used for 6. Oath is something else. Okay. Here.
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
In molecular diagram, carbons are numbered clockwise, beginning from carbon to right clockwise to the oxygen atom within the ring. Now see, this is Fischer structure, and the name of scientist is not given, but you need to remember this is the structure of glucose. Now, how they have formed it? In a molecular diagram, the carbons are numbered clockwise, beginning with carbon to right clockwise to the oxygen atom within the ring. Now, this is a ring. Okay, I will do one thing. I will just expand it a little bit. It will be more clear to you. Okay, is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay, now see, this is oxygen ring. Now, actually, this is something like this. Okay. Now, each corner is a carbon. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and this is the 6th carbon. Clear?
Yeah.
Got it? Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay. Now, this carbon, if I say there is a carbon over there, okay, like this. If there is a carbon over there, now valency of this carbon should be 4. 1 with this carbon, This is carbon, 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 carbon. Okay. Now, and this is carbon. So one with this carbon and one with oxygen. So we left with the two valency. One it is giving to hydrogen and the other one is OH. Clear?
Yeah.
Got it? Clear? Okay. The next carbon, again same, HOH. The next third carbon, there is an opposite term is there.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? Carbon.
So
upper term,
there's 6.
yeah, there are 6 carbon atoms. Fine. On first
Yeah.
carbon atom, hydrogen is above side, OH is down. Second carbon
Yeah.
atom, hydrogen is above, OH is down. But in third one, it is opposite. Okay. OH is above, hydrogen is down. In fourth one, again, hydrogen is up, OH is down. Okay. Then sixth one,
Okay.
one carbon is attached with CH2OH, that is alcohol CH2OH, and then H. Here?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
So it's
this
just different for the third one.
third one is different, and for the fifth carbon, we have CH2OH as a sixth one, and then H. Clear?
Then what about the 6th one?
Sixth one is simple CH2OH. Sixth one is again, this is H.
So the
OH.
6th one is CH2OH, or the
Yeah,
5th one?
sixth one is CH2OH. This is the sixth one. Fifth one
Yeah.
contains one O, one carbon, one hydrogen, and one this. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm again repeating. In molecular structure, the carbon are numbered clockwise, beginning from the carbon to the right clock side of the oxygen atom within the ring. So there are two structural variations of glucose molecule. The first one is known as alpha, the other one is known as beta. Okay, in which OH, hydroxyl group of carbon, one is opposite position. Now, in case of alpha, hydrogen is above and OH is down. Clear?
Yeah.
But in case of beta glucose, hydrogen is downward, OH is above. So we have to first of all see next carbon to the oxygen. First carbon.
So
If
it's
first,
swapped around.
you're not getting it?
No, for the beta one, it's just opposite
Yeah.
for the
For
first
the
one.
beta one, everything is similar to that of the alpha, but the difference is this. You can clearly see OH is
The
above.
first one is,
Yeah, first one is opposite. Clear?
yeah.
In
Yeah.
this beta one, first and third are same. First and third are same, second and fourth are same. Clear?
Yeah.
And the next fifth one is attached with CH2OH and H, simple. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, Lee. Now we will study further on. The glucose molecules are polar and soluble in water. Due to the hydrogen bonds that form between the hydroxyl group, the water molecules, their solubility in water is important because it means glucose dissolves in crystal of the cell. Now glucose, they are having OH, okay, they are polar in nature, so they are soluble in water. And because of this, you can say hydrogen bonding, that they are very pretty much soluble in water, and their solubility is important because if they are dissolved in water, it means they can be dissolved in crystal also. Here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now we will do condensation reaction. Now condensation reactions are those reactions in which some compound is out. Whenever some two things are reacting, some compound will be taken out. Now when two alpha glucose are side by side, two hydroxyl groups interact. Okay, now this is alpha glucose. Now these two alpha glucose are reacting with each other. Then what happens when two alpha glucose are side by side, two hydroxyl groups interact? When this happens, bonds are broken and new bonds removed in different places, producing a new molecule. Now, whenever two alpha glucose are reacting with each other, then some bonds break down and the new bonds are reformed in different places and producing a totally different new molecule. Okay. Now, whenever two alpha glucose are combining together, there is a bond formation between C1 and C4. Now, if you see this C1, HOH,
Yeah.
and C4 is HOH. C1 and C4 are same
Yeah.
here. Okay. Now, see. This is alpha glucose. This is alpha glucose. Both are totally same.
Yeah.
Okay. Clear? Any doubt in this? Now, in this case,
No.
what happens? This HOH is removed. In this case, H2O, OH, sorry. In this case, what happens? These OH, OH are in opposite sense. Then HOH, water is removed, minus H2O. Whenever two alpha glucose are interacting with
there's
each other, then there is a loss of water, which is known as condensation. Got it?
so but there's like an H, then at the bottom it's OH.
No, beta, why H is at the bottom? See, HOH, OH is in the bottom, na, in alpha glucose. And there also OH is there. They both are reacting, na? Here. Above it is
Yeah.
hydrogen, which is
Yeah.
not displayed. Okay. Is that point clear? Above is there is a hydrogen which is not displayed, and lower one OH, OH,
Yeah.
water is removed. That is condensation. Clear? Now only oxygen left, and this oxygen is now making a bond with C1 of first alpha glucose with C4 of second alpha glucose. Clear? And this is known as 1,4-glycosidic
Yeah.
bond. This is known as 1,4-glycosidic bond. Clear?
Yeah.
Got it? Any doubt in this?
No.
So this is CH2OH, OH, and this oxygen is there. And this is as this bond is between first and the fourth carbon. Therefore, it is known as 1,4-glycosidic bond. Clear? Remember that?
So the
As
glycosidic bond, it's just the
bond between
and they
two
take the,
glucose atoms, glucose molecules are known as glycosidic bond. Clear?
it's a bond between two glucose molecules.
Yes, a covalent bond is called a glycosidic bond is
Yeah.
formed between two glucose molecules. And the reaction is known as condensation reaction because a water molecule is formed and is as one of the products in the reaction. Clear? And as it contains, it is in between
Yeah.
carbon one of first alpha and the fourth carbon of the another alpha. So therefore we term it as a 1,4-glycosidic bond. Clear?
Yeah.
And this whole carbon, this whole thing, when two glucose molecules add up each other, they form a disaccharide. This is a monosaccharide, glucose monosaccharide. This is also monosaccharide. Now these two monosaccharides combine together and form disaccharide. Here,
Yeah.
and this disaccharide name is maltose. Okay. Two hydrogen
Yeah.
atoms and one oxygen atom are removed, and the bond formed between the first and the fourth carbon of the glucose molecule, and the molecules are now joined. Now, in this reaction, a new molecule is known as a maltose, and it is an example of disaccharide, that is a molecule made up of two monosaccharides. Is that clear? Any doubt in this? No?
No.
Okay. Now, other sugars. Now, fructose and galactose are also hexose monosaccharides. Now, fructose and galactose are also hexose monosaccharide, means they also contain 6 number of carbon. Now, fructose naturally occurs in fruit, often in the combination with glucose, forming a disaccharide, sucrose, commonly known as cane sugar or just simple sugar. Now, fructose also naturally, it is also there in the in fruit, and it is often in combination with glucose, forming disaccharide sucrose. Now, fructose and glucose they combine together and form a disaccharide known as sucrose. and commonly known as cane sugar, or simple sugar, the sugar that we used to eat. Okay. Now galactose and glucose form the disaccharide known as lactose. Lactose is commonly found in milk and milk product. So milk and milk product, they have a little bit of sweet structure, sweet taste. That is because of the lactose. And how lactose is formed? Lactose is formed when galactose and glucose, they react with each other. Okay, and they form a disaccharide. Clear? Any doubt? Now fructose is sweeter
Yeah.
than glucose, and
Yeah.
glucose is sweeter than galactose.
Mm.
This sequence is important. Fructose is sweeter than glucose, and glucose is sweeter than galactose. Okay, clear? Now, if you remember, when we studied last
Okay,
page,
yeah.
एक second, अगर तेरे को बेटा याद हो, हाँ, the monosaccharides, we have example, fructose and ribose is also there. There is one example of ribose. Fine. This ribose is a pentose sugar. Now, pentose monosaccharides are sugars which contains 5 carbon atoms, and 2 pentose sugars are important component of the biological molecule. A ribose, the sugar which is present in RNA, and deoxyribose which is present in DNA. Okay, so ribose is a monosaccharide sugar which contains 5 carbon atoms, and these are 2 type of ribose sugar. Ribose which is present in RNA, and there is one more is there, that is deoxyribose present in DNA. Clear? Is that point clear? Any doubt? Okay. Now we will study about starch and glycogen. Now what happens when many alpha glucose molecules, they join by the glycosidic bond to form 2 slightly different polysaccharides, are collectively known as starch. Now when they are combining together in a very long chain, fine, the alpha glucose molecule can be joined by the glycosidic bond to form 2 slightly different polysaccharide chains, and these are known as starch. Now, glucose made by photosynthesis in plant is stored as a starch, and it is a chemical energy store. It is a chemical energy store. Clear?
Yeah.
Any doubt in this?
No.
Now, one of the polysaccharides in starch is known as amylose. So, amylose is one of the important polysaccharides. So, one of the polysaccharides in starch is known as amylose. Amylose is formed by alpha glucose molecule joined only by 1,4-glycosidic bond. Now, in amylose, there is also 1,4-glycosidic bonding. The angle of bond means that this long chain of glucose twists to form a helix, which is further stabilized by the hydrogen bonding. Now, in this case, what happens? There is an angle of the bond, and because of this angle of the bond, they form a helical structure. Here, and that has been further stabilized by the hydrogen bonding. Now, because of hydrogen bonding and because of the angle of bond, that they are into a helix structure. Is that point clear?
Okay. Yeah.
This makes polysaccharide more compact, much less soluble than the glucose molecule used to make it. Now, glucose is a little bit more soluble in water, but as this formation takes place and the structure makes it little bit less soluble in water as compared to that of the glucose. Got it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Now, another type of starch formed when glycosidic bonds form in the condensation molecule between first and the 6th carbon on the 2 glucose molecules. Now, earlier we have said that the first and the 4th carbon. Now, there can be a bond formation between first and the 6th carbon. The other starch polysaccharides are known as amylopepsin. Pepsin, sorry. Okay, amylopepsin.
Yeah.
Now, amylopepsin is made up of 1,4-glycosidic bond between alpha glucose molecules, but Unlike amylose, in amylopectin, there are also some glycosidic bonds between the condensation reaction of first and the sixth carbon on the two glucose molecules. Now see, actually what should be there? This is first and this is fourth. The reaction should be something like this. Clear?
Yeah.
But reaction happens between this and this. Instead of moving water like this from the first and the fourth, water is moving from sixth carbon. Clear?
Yeah.
And there is a bond between H and CH2, this bond. So this bond is 1,6. This bond is known as 1,6 glycosidic bond. This is 1,6 glycosidic
So
bond.
it just
Uh-huh.
when the OH and the
This is the
HO.
first. This is the first carbon, and this is the sixth carbon.
Yeah,
So
the-
sixth carbon OH is getting attached with the first carbon H, and they are forming a
Yeah.
bond known as 1,6 glycosidic bond. Clear?
So it's not a 1,4.
I don't get you.
It's not a 1,4 glycosidic bond. It's
Yes,
1,6.
obviously it's not a 1,4 glycosidic. Now, when it is forming a 1,6, how it can be 1,4?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. That is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And
Sometimes,
then it makes,
huh?
and then
This means that the amylopeptin has branch structure with 1,6 branching point occurring approximately once in every 25 glucose subunits.
so how did the after condensation? How do you know that it's then line
Okay.
CH2?
That this is 1C or 1,6.
No. How do you know like what the products are?
You can clearly see now this H2 are removed, then bond will be always found where it is broken. So bond is break between oxygen,
Oh.
this and this. So the new bond will form between
Okay.
oxygen and this carbon now. Bond will always
Yeah.
from where they are breaking. जहाँ से
Yeah.
टूटेगा वहीं से तो बनाएगा ना bond. Clear?
Yeah. So H2O is removed. And
H2O,
then
that water is
remaining
removed,
is
and the bond will form. The bond with oxygen will get attached to CH2. You can clearly see
Yeah.
this get attached to CH2. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Within the 1,6 branching point occurring approximately once in every 25 glucose subunits. You can clearly see this also. This is also 1,6 glycosidic bond. This is also 1,6 glycosidic bond. Okay. Now, the functionally equivalent energy stored molecule to starch in animals and fungus is known as glycogen. The functionally equivalent energy stored molecule to starch in animals and in fungi are known as glycogen. Okay, now glycogen forms more branches than amylopectin, which means that it is more compact and less space is needed for it to be stored. So for the storage of glycogen, the space requirement is very less as compared to that of the amylopectin. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is important as animals are mobile, unlike plants. The coiling or branching of the polysaccharides makes them very compact, which is ideal for storage. Now, the branching also means that there may be free end where glucose molecules can be added and removed. This point is clear?
Yeah.
Do I need to repeat it?
Yeah. Can you repeat that, please?
Okay, now what happens? Okay, I'm again repeating it. The functional equivalent energy. Okay, now if you see in the case of this one, it is a little bit helix in structure. Formation of glycogen. Note that the new glycosidic chain starts from the main chain formed by the branching. So it will always starting from the main branch only. Clear? Now glycogen forms more chains and than amylopectin. Glycogen, the number of chain in the glycogen is a little bit more than that of the amylopectin, which means that it is more compact and less space is needed to be stored. For glycogen, the glycogen is more compact
Yeah.
and less area or less space is required for the storage. And this is important when as animals are mobile, unlike plants. Plants are staying at one place, they can afford that storage, but animals are mobile. It means that is they are moving here and there, so they can't afford that. So coiling or branching of these polysaccharides make them very compact, which
Yeah.
is ideal for storage. The branching also means that there are many free ends where glucose molecules can be added and removed. So whenever these branchings are done, so some of the ends are kept free where that they can add more molecules. So adding and removal can be done from that particular end. Now this speeds up the process of storing or releasing glucose molecule required by the cell. If you want to store more, then add it. If you want to release, then you can release it. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, now, so the key properties of amylopectin and glycogen are that they are insoluble, branched, and compact. Now, as the particular compound is more and more branched, it will become more and more insoluble and less compact. Here,
Yeah.
these am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, now these properties mean they are ideally suited to store storage roles, then they carry out. So they are suited for the storage role. Clear?
Yeah.
Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay, now we will discuss about hydrolysis reaction. Now, glucose is stored as a starch by the plants or glycogen by the animals and fungi. So in plant, it is known as glucose, and in animals, it is known as glycogen. Okay. Until it is needed for respiration, the process in which biochemical energy is found is biochemical energy is these stored nutrients is converted into a usable energy source for the cell. Okay, I'm again repeating. Glucose is stored as a starch by plants and glycogen by the animals and the fungi until
Yeah.
up to what time it is stored in it? Until it is required in respiration.
Respiration.
So in respiration, we require glucose. The process in which biological energy in the stored nutrient is converted into usable energy. Now, in this, that stored energy in the form of glucose is used to convert itself into a usable energy source of the cell. That is the energy source of the cell. Clear? Now, to release
Yeah.
glucose for respiration, starch and glycogen undergo hydrolysis reaction. So, to release glucose, starch and glycogen undergo hydrolysis reaction. That is requiring the addition of water molecules. The reaction are catalyzed by the enzyme, and they are the reverse of the condensation reaction that form the glycosidic bond. Clear? Now, whenever the glycosidic bonds are formed, it means two molecules are joining together, and hence there is a loss of water. Now, again, whatever the loss of water is there, we need to give it back so that it will break easily, or there will be hydrolysis reaction. Got it clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
doubt up to this point?
No.
Okay. Now do one thing, quickly read it. Quickly read it. I'm giving you a 5-minute time. Quickly read all these things. 5 minutes or 10 minutes time. Just read it quickly. Now cellulose. Now beta glucose molecules are unable to join together in the same way as the alpha glucose molecules can. Fine. Now see figure 5.
Yeah.
Figure 5. Which one is figure 5? Yeah, this one is figure 5. Yeah, this is your beta glucose. So beta glucose is like this one. Now beta glucose, if beta glucose, two beta glucose are there, what is happening? OH are on opposite sides. Fine. So note
Yeah.
that how far apart the OH groups are on these two beta molecules. So beta molecules, OH groups are very opposite to each other. They are not
Yeah.
in front of each other. Okay. So the OH group of the
Yeah.
beta glucose are, just give me a second. 11 Hanji. Okay, so as you can see in figure 5, the hydroxyl groups of carbon 1 and carbon 4 of two glucose molecules are too far from each other to react. So this OH and this OH, they are very far with each other to react.
Yeah.
The only way that the beta glucose molecule can join together and form polymer if the alternate beta glucose, that is this one glucose, is turned upside down. If you turn it upside down, then only this will, it will be something like that. Are you getting it or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you turn it
It
upside
swapped
down,
around the second one.
yeah, it will move up. Now something like that will form. Now in this case, what is happening? Two OH groups of beta glucose are now close enough to react. They are close enough to react and they are going to form 1,4 glycosidic bond. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now when a polysaccharide is formed from glucose in this way, it is unable to coil or form branches. Now it enables to coil and form branches. A straight chain molecule is formed. Now what happens? Again, same thing. HOH, water is removed. So there is a bond between this, then again this, and again this. So when a polysaccharide is formed from the glucose in such a way, it is unable to coil or form branches. A straight chain molecule is formed and it is known as cellulose. Clear?
Yeah.
So cellulose molecule is a straight and it is unbranched because alternate beta molecule or beta glucose is upside down. Okay.
So
Hmm.
like since the H2O is removed,
Hmm.
there's only O left. So I
Hmm.
get the first bit, but then the second it's upside down. The O is at the bottom.
This one because now OH this fine. It is
Yeah.
upside down. Now in this
Yeah.
case, if you see this H and
Oh,
OH,
is the first one swapped upside down?
yeah, this is the second one is
That's
upside
why.
down. Na? In this case, OH is there. Wait,
Yeah. Yeah. So for
it
the
is,
second one,
this is OH, okay, and this one is
yeah.
also. We need to make it. This one is 1,4. Clear?
Yeah.
Now this will move up 1,4. This is again a OH. This is OH. Now again H2O is removed. Then oxygen-oxygen bonding. Now this one is again upside down. Now you will see this is OH is up. So up down bonds are formed. Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now cellulose molecule make hydrogen bond with each other, forming microfibrils. These are the microfibrils. Now cellulose molecule make hydrogen bond with each other, forming microfibrils, and these microfibrils join together, forming macrofibrils. The microfibrils join together and form a macrofibril,
Okay.
and these macrofibrils join together and form cellulose fiber. That is, these macrofibrils which combine to produce a fiber, and that fiber is known as a cellulose fiber. And these fibers are strong and insoluble and are used to make cell walls. Now, cellulose is an important part of our diet. It is very hard to break down into its monomer to form the fiber or the roughage. So the fiber or the roughage, whatever we are eating in our diet, is nothing but a cellulose. Whatever the green vegetables we eat are nothing but cellulose. Okay,
Yeah.
necessary for a healthy digestive system, and these are necessary for healthy digestive system. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you need to do these 4 questions as a homework. So I hope you
Okay.
will send it to me after within half hour. Okay, describe the
Yeah.
difference between alpha and beta glucose. This third carbon OH group. You can tell the first carbon OH group. If OH is above, then it is sorry. If it then the difference between the OH of first carbon. Okay, so you can draw the structure
Yeah.
and write down the difference. And formation of glycosidic bond, that is 1,4 glycosidic bond. You can easily describe the structure of cellulose and its function. We have already discussed. And why beta glucose when polymerized leads to production of cellulose instead of starch? Then also you can tell. So 1, 2, 3, 4 questions are there, and fourth question is a 6-mark question. So make it little bit big, not do a shortcut part. Okay.